Hey YouTubers, this commentary is about 3 people who were convicted in the shooting of Malcolm X. Now, 3 people were convicted, and the 3 people who were convicted were members of the Nation of Islam. And I think that's widespread knowledge at this point. And the names are Mujahid Halim, Khalil Islam, and Muhammad Aziz. And the way it stands now, Cy Vance, the District Attorney of New York, exonerated 2 of the men. 1 is still serving life in prison, but 2 are exonerated. Unfortunately, 1 of them died in 2009. His name was Khalid Islam. He died in 2009. Unfortunately, he did not realize the full pardon, you know, the full impact of his release from this crime. He died a little too soon. They spent close to 60 years in prison, and had not, if it was not for Mujahid Halim confessed to the murder, they would still be in prison. Now, back in 1980, Halim did confess. He even confessed when he was arrested initially, back in the 60s. And unfortunately, his confession was not taken into consideration. He confessed that he was the one who shot Malcolm, and the 2 other men were not involved. However, they were tried and convicted and sentenced nonetheless. 56 years ago, there was devastation in the black community. Malcolm X was shot down, and I think the black community is still feeling the ripples of that assassination. Halim signed an affidavit in 1977 stating that he was the one who shot Malcolm. Unfortunately, he could not remember full names. Just, you know, it's just like if you go to a meeting and you call everybody by their last name or first name and you don't have a full name. Pretty much that was like. But I guess if they're really wanted to pursue the case, I'm talking about the FBI and New York City Police Department, they could have went to the masjid and inquire the names of these people and a physical description given by Halim, the person who is now still serving life in prison. He said he's the one who shot Malcolm. And the other men involved, he was trying to give a description. He said it wasn't the 2 that were currently serving with him, but it was, you know, other men. But he could not get a full description, full names. So the case was thrown out by the judge at that time in 1977. But after Netflix did a documentary of who shot Malcolm in 2020, they presented so much evidence that Cy Vance, the Attorney General's office in New York, reopened the case. And the case, it was in the making for almost 2 years. They were investigating. Since Netflix series to now, it's been almost 2 years. So the verdict came down, I think like 3 days ago, the acquittal of 2 of the men. 1, like I said before, unfortunately died in 2009. and one is 85 and he's free, and the third man is still serving life because he confessed to the murder. So Halem confessed at the 1966 murder trial. Way back then he confessed at the trial to shooting Malcolm X, but said neither Azid nor Islam were involved. The trial rested entirely on eyewitness testimonies. No physical evidence tied Azid nor Islam to the shooting or the crime scene. And there was no evidence that Azid or Islam had any connection to Halim or had ever met him before. Halim was apprehended after he ran on stage, approached Malcolm X and shot him repeatedly. According to the court filings, other gunmen fled, so he was not alone. It was definitely not one person doing the shooting. But Halim was shot in the leg by one of Malcolm X's bodyguards, and that's how he got apprehended. So the district attorney's office, Cy Vance's office, said that they could not reopen the case and try the case because the witnesses who testified back in the 60s and back in the, in that period had all passed away. Remember, these people would have been like 80, 90 years old today. So they all passed away, including the some of the, some people from the prosecutor's office. And also, Cyrus Vance's office said the evidence is not there. The evidence was destroyed or taken out somewhere. But if it's not there, that tells me it's been destroyed. They said the evidence is missing. It is not there. You have an evidence room. All that evidence concerning Malcolm, the gun, the bullets, all the evidence that's needed to prosecute the case, all missing. And the people are dead. So there's no real case to prosecute. All they had to do was hear from this person who's now serving life. The last person mentioned, the third wheel, Halim, and Halim said they were not the ones who did the shooting. They were other men who did the shooting with him. So that kind of exonerated the two men. Like I said, one is dead and one is living. He's 83. And that came out in the news a couple of days ago. And I'm so happy for the family and happy for these men because, it's just justice delayed. And it's about time that, they get some type of, justice. And Cyrus Vance even apologized to the families, all the families involved. And he said, I'm talking about Khalil's family, Azid, and Malcolm's family. He apologized to them. And he said, I apologize for what were serious, unacceptable violations of the law and the public trust. I apologize on the behalf of our nation's law enforcement for this decades-long injustice, which has eroded public faith in institutions that are designed to guarantee the equal protection of law. Well, this is just one of many cases where the erosion of equal protection under the law is usually breached. Because oftentimes we see so many cases where if you're black, you're not going to get your justice. But I'm happy to read a story where innocent men were released of a crime they did not commit. So I'm sure they're going to be suing the city and a whole host of other organizations involved. And I hope they get every penny that they will be asking for, because even if they get paid $1 billion, it cannot bring back all those lost years of their young adulthood, middle adulthood, and now they're elderly men. Can't bring back those years. No type of money can bring it back. YouTube family, that's my commentary on the charges that were reversed on two of the men who were accused of shooting Malcolm X. And this reversal came about 3 days ago. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up by pressing that subscribe button on the YouTube page before leaving. Thank you.